What's up, people? What's up, my mighty red army out there? It's Lord Walker, and I am. This is another show that I'm going to be doing some interesting little takes. I'm going to be doing some stuff where I wanted to get into the ratings since we have a couple more days until we get back into get back into the swing of things with the Prem. I brought up a little idea and concept of the ratings. These ratings that I've seen on EA Sports, and it deals with the players that we have. So you have 17 players that I'm going to show you their ratings. Then we're going to have a little fun take to see if they rated them too low, if they rated them too high, that kind of deal. Because I think that some of the takes that EA Sports did, I don't play as much as I used to, but all the same, I did want to say some of the ratings were kind of interesting that they put them onto. So I'll show you some of the characters or some of the players that got used. So this is the first things first. This is the top 5 that we're looking at on this. Big up Brian, big up Redbird. I see you guys in the chat. I want to say, so first off, this is the top 5 that they showed on the ratings. Our top 5 gold card players were Salah, Allison, Van Dijk, Robertson, and Alexander Arnold. Let me pull this up, actually. Put it in this in there. Make it a little bigger for you guys. So this was like the top 5 that we got out. You can see what they rate on there is your pace. They rate on your shooting, obviously the passing, dribbling, and the last is like physical. So they got Salah at 89, 87. He was a 90, which is pretty surprising. I thought that was a good rating. I understand that they don't really rate higher than 95. Really, there's not very many players to get over 95, but still, Ali and Van Dijk come in at 89, and then 87, 86 for Trent and for Robbo, which is pretty interesting. So now let's go. I'll go individuals. So it ended up being this is the individuals. You can see a little bigger, a little bit more pronounced with what they rated him at. 78 pace, 86 physical. His physical was pretty crazy, and they still give him respect on his defense, which is proper. Decent respect on the physicals. On the passing. Thiago they give respect to by giving him 84. The passing is incredible. His dribbling is incredible on here. Even got a little shout out for his physicality, which is kind of interesting. With a 67. Trent is at 86 on the gold cards. He's 73 for physical because he doesn't get bullied too often. But what was funny though is that they gave him an 80 on defense. Now this is funny. I'll point this out a little bit later, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. I do hope the rest gives VVD a little shout, a little quality, because the Holland team has been playing quite a bit actually, and he has been playing a lot with the Holland team. So is Robbo too. This is Robbo. He got a 77 for physicality, but he got an 81 on defense. That's what I wanted to point. So it's pretty funny. They gave Trent an 80 on defense, and they gave Robbo an 81 on defense. So it's either Robbo is not good at defense anymore, or it's either Trent is better at defense than people give him credit for sure. Let's see. This is the Salah card. He actually got 89, even though I said 90. He got 89. 76 in the physicality, 87 on dribbling, which is surprising. That was one of his better stats. Shooting's 87, pace 89. They're all pretty much quality. His defense 45, so much. But they gave defense 81 for Matip. So basically, Trent's like 1 point under in defense than Matip, who is a good defensive player. McAllister comes in at an 82 on this, which is kind of cool. 72. He's got quality shots and passings where you see it in dribbling as well on McAllister. McAllister's going to be good this year. I heard people making takes that McAllister and I heard a take that Arsenal's starting midfield of Rice, Odegaard, and Partey are better than Dom, Mac, and either Endo, or you could put I don't know if they even put Thiago in there, but you can put Thiago in there. They said basically that our midfield was worse than Arsenal's midfield. That was a very surprising shout to see, or to hear at least. It's done by Rory, and I think it was done by Terry too. Conceded that too. It's pretty crazy. And then we have Konate. Konate is Ibu's physicality is not surprising, 82. Defense again, 82, which is kind of crazy because Trent's only still an 80. Hata 85. Let's see. They show proper respect for his pace and shooting. 82s. And it's 84 for his dribbling. He's got some proper respects on this. 75 for passing, 77 for pace. 75 for pace passing, and 77 for physicality. Gravenberch came in at a 79, people. I'm just excited. I don't know if you guys, but I'm pretty excited about what we're going to do with where we're going to play Ryan. That's going to be really interesting, as to me, is where we're going to play Ryan Gravenberch. I think it's going to be a fun puzzle to find out, but I just think that it serves where we don't necessarily always need a number 6. It'll be nice to have that option to kind of like be able to turn up a gear in a game, or to possibly even just come out in that gear for that game, or to have the option to put Endo in to kind of like, shift down and be a little more have a little more defensive cover once Endo gets put. Endo and Gravenberch get put into a rotation, if they're going to play that, But obviously, if you do have Gravenberch could play with an Endo as well, but still, I think it's going to be more like Gravenberch is going to play as an 8 or as a CM more so than it is going to be like a DM. Should be kind of cool. Gomez. This weekend is going to be an interesting weekend because I'll do a preview later on this week, but Gomez is going to be playing one way or another in the game against Wolves. And the biggest question is, considering that last game he played in Virgil's spot, which was the kind of like left center back spot. And then you have Matip playing in the right center back spot. But if you're going to have Trent and Virgil both out for the Wolves game, which I don't mind, because I definitely wouldn't mind seeing Trent get that extra day of rehab and an extra weekend or couple days of not pressing him with that hamstring. That means that Gomez is going to most likely play right back. And if he plays right back, that's then going to mean that you're going to have to include Kwanzaa most likely, and then Matip. And Kwanzaa will have to play that Virgil van Dijk role. Or you're going to have Kwanzaa playing that role of that Ibu would play, or we've seen Matip play just recently. That's going to be a very interesting little switch up or figuring out. It's going to be, I guess, like we'll see. I definitely think we'll probably see Trent and Thiago and those guys and those kinds of players that were on the fringe or of coming back. I think we'll definitely see them probably involved in practice. I don't necessarily know if we'll see them involved in the starting 11, but it should be very interesting. I'm interested to see where Gomez goes in Klopp's scheme for this weekend. let's see. Vase of Flowers is saying, if Konate and Trent are fit, then we're in good shape. Me thinks. I got you. Yeah. If they're fit, yeah, definitely. They're fit for sure. But if they're on that if they're on that I gotta put it, if you're on that stage where you can say, hey, I don't have to play them, that's a more comfortable place. I don't think you have to play them, even at Wolves away, which is tough. Every away match is going to be tough, period, no matter who you're facing. But I also think that away, I wouldn't mind, even away, I wouldn't mind resting them just in case if I had to. If they're fit though and they're ready to go and there's no possibility of re-injuring or bring up the injury again, then cool. Hackbo got an 83 on this, people. That was pretty cool. 85 for pace was his pace was his strongest attribute, and his dribbling was also his second strongest. 84, 82 shot for love on the shot. Passing got a shot for physicality. I think he probably should have been a little higher than 73. I personally think. My boy Endo, 75, 79 for defense, 80 dribbling, passing 73, shot 68, and pace 67. He doesn't get much love for the pace. He doesn't get much love from pace by anyone, apparently. I think he's quicker than people give him credit for. He'll get the pace down. He'll get the pace down of the Premier League. He'll figure things out because a lot of it's just not all just like having this pure blast burst of pace type speed. Sometimes you just have to understand when to turn on the speed, and when to turn it off to be able to get your spacing and everything else. Big up to Beijing Pops. I see you in there. Big up. Big up to Brian, of course, and Chris Angel. Let's see. Dom got a 82, which is really good. He got a 64 on the physicality. I think they dissed him on the physicality. And the defense, he got 34. That's a stone cold diss. They hooked him up with the pace, the shooting, passing, and dribbling. I mean, he got 83, 82, 84, and 82. But his defense is better than a 34. Come on, people at EA. And his physicality is he's the most fit person on the team. So 64, this man should definitely be bumped up. Diaz in that 84. Brian's saying he's not quick by elite standards, but he can cover the ground. I think, you know what? I agree. He's not quick by elite standards, I guess. I mean, he's not like Diaz fast, for instance, you know. Let's see, they give Diaz a 91, proper respects. He's not Diaz fast, but I think he's slightly better than, I think he's better at defense than Diaz, and that's not a knock on Diaz, but they gave Diaz a 34. They gave Dom a 34 on defense, you know. I mean, his pace was 83 in here. They gave him a 91. But I mean, his physicality, 74. So they give him a physicality of 74. They gave Diaz more physicality than they gave Dom. I don't agree with that. I mean, I know that's your fitness. I know that's your strength, and it's a measured, it's an average metrics of the number. But I don't agree with that, man. I think Dom is a beast when it comes to like being able to Brody people off the ball and to basically, you know, obviously he's got such good stamina and pace. I think he does have pace. He's not fast like Brian said against like a Diaz. He doesn't have that burst of speed style, you know, low center of gravity like Mo. But I think, come on, 64 is way too low for his physicality and defense 34. That's a diss. That's just not right. Nunez 82. So EA Sports showing a little bit of love to Nunez, all things considered. They gave him 85 physicality, defense 43, dribble 75, passing 71, shooting 81, and 90 for his pace. They gave him as a burn. They put him down as a burner. Passing is a little low. I think his passing could be a tad bit higher. And his defense, I think he's made an improvement on his defense this year. I don't know if he's a 40. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I mean, that's the point. There's no way that Nunez is a 43 at defense and Dom is a 34 at defense. That's just not right. That's not right. This is not right. And Ali is an 89. He got a huge rating. I thought Ali should be a 90 in this game. He got positioning 90. He got speed 54. He got, I think that's reflexes. That's reflexes. 89, 85 for kicking, 85 for handling, and diving is 86. I don't think like speed I can understand, 54. Reflexes, man, I don't know if those reflexes should be a 90 probably. I mean, it's 1 point, but I get it, but it should be a 90. And everything else, I mean, I don't know if he's going to if that would bump him up to a 90, but so what we're going to do here is we're going to just see about moving these into the status here. So I was going to say we can start with Ali. It's kind of crazy that he got an 89. I don't know if I would have rated him an 89. I think he deserves to be a 90. I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world. I think it's a travesty that he wasn't on the top goalkeepers of the year, Ballon d'Or. I think it's the Flick competition. I think it's called the trophy that they get. I think Ali deserves to be a 90. I would love to put him in the Alcantara, this range right here. I mean, I would bump up to a 95 if that rating could be there for him. Nunez got an 82. I thought it's a relatively fair deal, I guess. I don't know if I probably would have put him. He's definitely like, if this is A, B, and this is C, I get it 75, but this is like C here. I think he's a solid B. Diaz with the 84. I thought Diaz was a decent rating, but I would definitely bump him up 1. If I'm going to bump Diaz up 3, I'm definitely bumping up Lucho. I think Don deserved an 85. I think he shouldn't be in that range down here. I'm being truthful. I think an 80 was a nice score for my man Endo. I think they rated him pretty nice on some of the ones I saw. Let's see. Hackbo, I think should be an 85. He should definitely get bumped from 83 to 85 at least. I could see Gomez being 79. I think that was a very nice rating for him. Not that he's trash. I just think that's like he's. I think that he's 79 is a generous, very generous rating. I think Ryan should be at least an 80. He shouldn't be a 79. That's kind of harsh. Just because you're playing in Bayern doesn't mean that you don't deserve like a little bit of a 70. I mean, you're not on Gomez's level. I just put everyone at 95, 99. I feel you. I'm trying to be critical here. I'm trying to make it an actual critical show. Because the next one was going to be fun. The next one's going to also be with we have as much bias, but I want to figure out who do you guys think are like the true nines? Like if you're going to put them in ratings and stuff, it's going to be a lot of fun too. What I got coming up. But let's see. I would put Hata 85, 89 range is cool for me. Kanate, he's an 80. I don't know if he would be an 85. I think they all should have. Yeah, it says Chris Angel saying it's based on last season. Next season, everyone should have better rating. I get you, and I feel you. I feel you. Some of them, see, the difference is when you go and play on Football Manager, for instance, they do it from scouting reports. It's not so like just all. I mean, there's got to be some metric that they put in there with like just their physicalities and stuff like that, where they figure out how well, like, you know, maybe it's the stamina and all that's from how much they've actually, like, how much ground or their heat maps and all that stuff, and how many kilometers they've run throughout the entire game. But yeah, man, McAllister, I think, is the 85, in that 85 to 89 range. I mean, some of these players, I would give at least a 3. I mean, 3-point bump is a big bump. I understand. But geez, man, I could even see matchup being like on par with Gomez being a 79. Even. I'll bump him down 1. How about that? That's me being, very critical, people. Very critical. Yeah, he should be 95. I'll bump him up to 95. Even though he's 89. Robbo got an 80. What was that? 86, I believe. I think that was a very, very nice rating for him. Trent's 86, 89. I want to put him 90. Should I put Trent in a 90? Should Trent be a 90? He's going to get knocked down so much. What's big up? Big up to Jake Kismet. Big up. Is that too big of a bump for if I put Trent as a 90 in this game? That's too big of a bump. All right, let me make sure. For example, Gomez has particularly low overall, but was a real usable player in Ultimate Team. It's about the in-game stats. Okay. All right. I think 90 is good, right? Brian's saying 90 is good. I think 90 is good. I think he's the best. I think despite the fact that people give him, shtick about his defense, and it has definitely put people to question his status at right back so greatly. I still think that he's the best right back. And I think that when he plays right back, it's for a reason, because at right back, if not now at right center back almost, he has so much of the pitch to very few players can handle the entire pitch. Very few players can be able to be at any point in any spot of the pitch and be able to pinpoint passes to left or right side of the pitch, if not giving long passes down the middle. And Trent's one of those unique players that can do that and thinks in his mind he can do that. At any given point, he'll figure out, yeah, I can do this. So, Chris is saying no one deserves 90 other than the alley. Interesting. I mean, Mo got an 89. I would bump Mo up 1. I think people underscore Mo for the fact that he does, that he's doing more, in my opinion, with his passing nowadays. And I understand he wants to score goals. Goals are currency. He's going for records with the goals. He's gotten a lot of records with the goals. But I think that, like, if he just understands that if he could do what he did, 2 years ago, I want to say, when he got Golden Boot, he shared the Golden Boot, but got the assist lead as well, shared the assist lead. That's unprecedented. That's something that you rarely see. I'd have to definitely do a deep look into research that as to when is the last time, but how often have you ever seen a forward, much less a winger, be the number one scorer and be the top scorer of a league and be the top assist maker in the league? That's a rarity. That's a really huge accomplishment, and I think that he's got the opportunity to do that this year. He's got a really good opportunity to do it this year. I think we got to definitely bump VVD. I don't care what y'all say, but I think that captain badge right there is a +1 for him at least, because I think Virgil has been an utter and complete difference this year when it comes to center back. I heard a take yesterday by, I think it was, I want to say it was by Rory. No, it was by Terry actually, who said our center backs are washed, as in comparing our center backs to Arsenal's center backs. Arsenal center backs to our not the injured ones, the current ones. I was like, you're having a laugh, man. And you know my boy Thiago has to get a bump 1. He ought to get a +1. That's my boy. That's my boy Thiago. So, all right, so this is the rating. So yeah, so it looks like gave a little bump to Mo and Ali. I think that definitely gave a little bump to Virgil. I think they were like one stage below where they should be. Virgil and Trent. Most of the guys stayed in this little range. Again, they're going to bump up. Hey, I bumped some guys down too, people, or kept them down. Knocked it down to 79. Let me see what it's saying here. Says, wait till you see where he puts Thiago. I want to put him up here, right? 89 is fine. That's pretty high on FIFA ratings. That is true. There's not really many 95, 99s. I mean, like 95, 99s are usually when you make up a player yourself. That's clickbait. Why they're trying to draw your guys in to get views and reactions. I feel you. Let me see. Thiago should be a silver card. Wow. I hear you, Chris. And Saliba is better than Gomez, Matip, in my opinion, but not VD. No, I don't have a problem saying Saliba is better than Gomez or Matip. No problem whatsoever. But I still think that Kanate and VVD is a better matchup or a better pair than anything they have. Hands down, anything that they have. And that's the part and point that kind of got me like up in the arms. So, all right, so this is what I wanted to show you too. All right, so let me show you this now. This is a little bit. This is where we get some little fun, like I said. So I was watching EA Sports. Speaking of EA Sports, Chris, EA Sports Social did this thing where they had they had Specs. They had who else did they have? I'm forget this guy's name. They had Specs. They had two other guys that were involved in the whatchamacallit. Here, let me make sure I get their names right. I want to give them proper shots to show you how they came up with at least these ratings. It was on the Saturday Social. What it was called, or what the other two people were. Okay, give me 1 second. I know I have it. All right, yeah, Smitty, Joe, and Specs. Smitty, Joe, and Specs. Those are 3 people. All right, and they had it where this is they gave their ratings. They gave these players ratings in the sense of starting the nines. And the nines, they gave Sonny an A. They gave they didn't put Holland in. They just used Alvarez, but they gave Alvarez an A. And they gave Ivan Toney an A. They gave Ollie Watkins a B. They gave Isaac a B. They gave Jesus a B. They gave let's see, West Ham. I'll just go through these real fast. West Ham, Forest. They gave obviously Nunez, Investor a C, and they gave like Jackson a C. They gave Ferguson a C. They gave Bournemouth, Solanke a C, and then they gave D's to Manchester United's new guy. They gave Everton's guy. They gave not West Ham. They gave Villa's guy a D. They gave Brentford's a D, and then they gave E grades to Crystal Palace, Fulham, Luton Town, Spurs, and Wolves are our opponent this weekend, which would be very interesting. So it got me thinking, like, what would you say is your ratings for the nines that are in our league? I think that my ratings are a little bit higher than theirs, but yeah, what do you? It's a question of what do you rate the starting nines on our league's opponents? So let me show you this. So this is I came up with this too. This right here is all the teams. So we have these tiers. We have Golden Boot. We have the Golden Boot contender. Okay. We have Superstar. We have Starter. We have Starter. Barely. I can see barely you being a starter. And we have the bottom, which should be on the bench. Just straight should be on the bench. All right. He's not really like he's starting for the team, but he should be on the bench. He would be on the bench for our team especially type deal. All right. So where would you rate West Ham's starting number 9? Where would you rate West Ham starting number 9? Antonio. I think Antonio is a good player. I think he's a solid starter. I would give him a C. If you're gonna look at it, you can look at this as being A, B, C, D, and E once again. But I would give Antonio a C. I don't think he's a superstar. I think he's a solid starter. I don't think he's he's not like a barely starting starter. Let's see what is this going on. I'd say he's a starter. Let's go. Yeah, starter. Looks like we're seeing all starters. Let's see who else do we have here. Make this a lot bigger, actually. I can hardly see myself. I'll make it a little smaller. All right, so next we have Brentford. I would put Brentford's 9. I would put Brentford's 9 as he can be a handful. I agree with that. He can be a handful. He definitely can be a handful. I even took notes on some of these because I wanted to make sure I got some of these guys right. Because I don't know. Brentford's guy is a pretty decent player. Even though it's not Ivan Toney, as they put Ivan Toney. I know that they don't recognize the fact that he won't be back for a while. So I have the real starting number 9 for them currently. So Ivan Toney's not going to be in here. Where would you put him? So hard to see. Hold on a second. Give me one quick second. Put Brentford number 9 in the casino. For sure. That's where he is. That's probably where you can find him for sure. That's horrible. I would say, he's done a decent job so far, but I would put him as obviously, he's going to get replaced as soon as Ivan Toney's back. It says a lot as to it says a lot to every to what you're doing so far. All right, so let's go. How about this too? I'll just jump around a little bit too. How about for Watkins? Is Watkins a starter or a superstar? I think that Watkins is a good player. I definitely think he's a good player. I definitely don't think he's a B-level player. I would put him certainly as a starter. I'm not saying he's a starter barely, barely a starter, but he's a solid starter. He's a solid starter. I'll give him a C. I'm not putting him in like a superstar status. I don't think he's a superstar. Yeah, I don't think he's a superstar. Karen Archer. I think it is possibly. Yeah, I put same as Antonio. Yeah. Same as Antonio Watkins. I would put him as the same for sure. You think he's under Antonio Bryant, huh? You think he's barely a starter? Damn. I would have given him at least maybe like the same as him as he's had a. I bet he has had like a subpar year in the sense of like my expectations for him are much higher than he actually performs at. How about let's go to Brighton's for Ferguson. I would say Ferguson is a talented player, and I think that he's a starter that's got superstar potential. I don't know if he's a superstar just yet. Would you put Ferguson as a superstar? Would you put him as he's a B rating play? I mean, he's definitely a solid. He's like a 78, if not an 82, if we're rating him. I don't. Chris, you think he's a superstar? Ferguson shows amazing promise. I don't know if that's true about the reports that we inquired about him and that he quote unquote turned us down or something like that. I don't know if that's exactly true. Considering that we've had Irish legends at the number 9 play for us at Liverpool. I know that a step from Brighton to here, but I think it was more so apparently that it was on playing time. Like he wanted to be a short playing time, and he knew that most likely, if even with his talent, he wasn't going to get. That would create a log jam at the 9, because then all of a sudden you're probably battling it out, if not sharing time with Nunez, because I don't believe that was a prerequisite to get rid of Nunez. I think that I think that was the reason why he said he didn't want to necessarily go to Liverpool. And that was because Nunez was here. And we're most likely not going, unless Mo was to leave, we're not most likely going with a 2 strikers format. And that wouldn't most likely be the case, because then you'd have to find a place for Diaz, and he's not playing midfield for us. So, yeah. Brighton's next 100 million man. I agree. Stefano saying Ferguson similar to Darwin. You can see he's got star quality. So would you put him as a starter or would you put him as a superstar? Because you're saying Brighton's next $100 million man too. I know, but he's not there yet. That's why I think he could be a starter. He's better than Watkins. He's better than Antonio, or has bigger potential than them. Obviously, he's at a younger stage, a younger age than these players, and has probably the same amount of talent. But yeah, man, I don't know. That's a tough call. I'm gonna put him as starter for now. All right. So how about Nicholas Jackson, starter? He's definitely not a superstar. I put starter for Ferguson, by the way, Brian. That's what I put. It's starter for Ferguson. I mean, we can possibly bump him up when we go for the quick review, but I'm in agreement. I don't think he's a superstar yet. He's got superstar potential. I just think he's at starter potential. I think he's at that cusp of getting into superstar. He's like right on the edge, but he's not there yet. The ratings go like this. So, I'll show you what I mean by the how the ratings are similar. Okay, so the ratings were Saturday Social did a ratings, and they basically rated these as like an A, B, C, D, E. If you want to look at it from like school, school level, in a classroom settings, if you got an A on your test, and like I just put starter being like, if you're a starter, okay, you're a starter. That's like a C level. You could be a C level player and be a starter. I think if you're a D level player, you might be a starter, but you probably shouldn't be. You're just probably a starter under the pretense that there's no one there's no one better to put in that position right now. And then the E level that they have, for instance, that's showing that you shouldn't be a starter at all. You should just be straight on the bench. That's what I said. So rather than give them the A, B, C, D, E status, I went as far as to say, this is A level is someone that you should probably see contending for the Golden Boot, for instance. B level is maybe he's not contending for the Golden Boot, but he's definitely a superstar. C level is, again, just like average. You're a starter. You're an average starter. You're a decent starter. If you're average to above average starter, but you're not a superstar just yet. And again, D level is starter barely, or like you might have potential, you might not have potential. There's no one else to start. That's how I'm going with these ratings. Okay, so far we have like the C levels are Antonio, we have Watkins and Ferguson, and then we have Brentford's current number 9 at barely a starter, just because there's no one else to start. I don't think he's had a terrible season, but I mean he could be performing a little bit better. Let's see, who else are we getting? Oh, so the player I was on is Jackson. I think Jackson's a starter barely. I get that's harsh. I know that Action Jackson should probably be a starter. I want to hate, just like Stefano said, like I guess I am hating. I put him in starter barely. Should he be a starter? I see a player there too, Stefano. You're absolutely right. I see a player too. I guess he's like, I guess we could put him on a starter, that C-level player that's just like on the verge. Starter is, again, a starter. It means that he starts on yeah, you can just use letters if you want. Yeah, if it's too difficult, just think of this as the red is A, the orange is B, the middle is C, the yellow is D, and the green is E. So Jackson is C. Got you. All right, cool. So yeah, starter level for Jackson. I think he's a starter level. I mean, I want to put starter barely because he's been really. I mean, you talk about Darwin missing the shots. I mean, he's been missing some shots himself. He's had sitters that he should have put into the back of the net. Let's go with Bournemouth. Let's go with Bournemouth. All right. Where do we put Solanke? Solanke, is he a D or C? Is Solanke a D or a C? Solanke is a bottom tier C, but he's like barely almost a D too. I put I know I put him as a, so I gotta vote for C. I gotta vote for D. I kind of feel you, Nolante. I would put him in as a D. All due respect, Solanke, the former Liverpool Polian, I guess you could call it, or former Red. Yeah, man, I'd have to put him at a D. Is that showing too much hate? I don't know. And maybe that's a little bit harsh, but I don't think so. Let's see. Let's go to Sheffield. Sheffield, I'm gonna I think we can all say yes, I guess Shaolin says barely for Solanke. Yeah, I agree. Barely for Solanke. All right, so cool. I'm good on that. Big up, John Conway. Big up. Yeah, you're in trouble when you go. Why? I mean, why is it because Origi? You think is Origi going to be the starting? No, Origi's not for them. Origi's for for Forest. So wait, let me go. What the heck do I have for Sheffield? Who's Sheffield United starting 9? I'm gonna go blank on his name actually. It shows you how much I rate Sheffield. Let's see. Let me see here. Who do we have for Sheffield United. Who's Sheffield United's number 9, people? Give me a shout if you can name it off the top of your head, because I'm going blank for some reason. Hammer? Is it Hammer? Is it Hammer? I don't know. It's a good question. All right, so let's see. Who does Sheffield United start? Sheffield United starts. Read back. Brian's right. Cameron Archer. Big up. Cameron Archer. That's what it is. Freaking. I was right there too. I was just right about to get to it. So I'm looking at it. Because, yeah, it's either Cameron Archer or, I guess, because they play with 2. They play with Oliver. What's his name? Oliver McBurney, I think, is the other guy, too. They play with 2. But Archer is the one that I have here. I'm not going to – I'm going to have to go Shippy on the – I don't think Cameron Archer is that good. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to have to drop and say should be on the bench. I know that. I guess I'm also looking at it from if he was trying to start for Liverpool, I guess, or trying to start for that kind of a player. Jake Henderson is saying he is a number 10 CM player. Okay, so he's more like a attacking mid that's playing the striker. Okay. Interesting. I know. I put Archer as should be on the bench. All right. Let's see then. How about for our upcoming opponent, Wolves? I think that Wolves have a decent squad, actually, despite the fact that I wouldn't say they have a decent squad, but that coaching hem up kind of got them kind of in a bind. You used the pics of Cameron Archer for the Brentford player. I told you 5 times now. Oh, my fault. Did I? Oh, here? Yeah. Okay. My bad. We'll say that's we'll say that it's Brentford. I see. All right, my bad. I'll put him down until I'll see if I can find his right picture. Okay. My bad. I will find his right picture. But for Wolves, let's see. Where are we rating the Wolves 9? Where are we rating the Wolves 9? And yeah, I don't know where we would put him. I know that's not because I don't think I put that's not Escarica. It's not Silva. I would put their 9 at starter barely. I put them at a D. I think they have a decent front, but I don't think they have a great front. I would put, let's see, D for the Wolves. Yeah, I put D for Wolves. Let's go into Isaac. Where do you guys see Isaac? I think Isaac is. Do you think Isaac's a superstar, or do you think Isaac's a starter? Do you think he's like that C-level player, or do you think he's a B-level player for Isaac? I think Isaac is talented. I'm not going to hate on Newcastle. I think we've all gotten it out of our system, and are appreciative of that win. So I think Isaac is a superstar. It's hard to call him a superstar. I know. If anything, he's on that line. Brian, oh wow, you're getting a lot of C's. So this is a C level. So Brian, Nilante both say C. He's not a superstar in your mind? I mean, he's a good player, very good player. He's on that. I think he's on the cusp of being a superstar. I know it's hard to say superstars or a B, because I mean you got to think B. If you're a B level 9, you're most likely a superstar. You're most likely a superstar if you're a B level player. Yeah. So let's see. All right, we'll put my starter. Who should we do next? I have two. It's Burnley, actually. I think it's Burnley. All right, so who is Burnley's starter? Says particular superstar Isaac. I heard Newcastle fans say he's worth 100. He's definitely potential for sure. Psychedelic Challenge says potential superstar. I heard Newcastle fans say he's worth 120 million. To them, I think he's certainly worth 120 million. I wouldn't go as far as to say to the rest of the world, but he's got potential. He's got real potential. And let's see, Stefano said overall Isaac is great, but Nunez has better goals per minute ratio since he's arrived. Yes, I know that. It's exactly. That's why I think Isaac gets a lot of praise, and I'm not saying he's a talented player. And that's why I think that he could easily be a B player. If not, he's above tier solid C, but he could easily be like an 80 type player for sure. What else are we doing here? Some of these things are tough. He's good, but I think exactly. He's good, but he's not 120 million good for sure. Definitely not 120 million good. I don't want to do that team just yet. Who we gonna do next? I did Bournemouth. Okay, yeah. Brentford. I thought they did Brentford too. Let's do. Where do you guys see with Manchester United's new forward? How do you guys feel about Manchester United's new forward? Højlund. I watched the game, and Martial started. I get that, but I know that, and he played decent, not great, but decent. But I know that Manchester United Højlund got some time. I think he got some. He can. He's got some time. He got some time in the Arsenal game. He got time at the end. He got subbed in, I think, at the 67th minute or something, or 65th minute. I think they've got a player there. I think they've got potential. I wouldn't say he's a D. I would say he's probably a C. Okay, Brian's saying that Højlund's a D. I mean, and this is me saying I do not like Red Devils, obviously, like most of the people in this chat, but let's see. So he's talking about let's see what he's saying. So Brian gave him a D. He says, always happens, bro. Sean, that's why you'll never see me really hype players up. I let their game do the talking. Okay. What else was it? Jay Kismet saying that Højlund's a D. Okay. Is it because you haven't seen him play yet, or is it because also that you just don't see anything really there? I think, or you think that he's overhyped, as in he's just an overhyped player, and you think of him as a D level player, because I mean he's got I know he's got the back problem, but that's like they've apparently gotten to it early enough that they can try to like manage it, but he is a physical presence for sure. You say he's an E player, basically. He gets an E. Dang, should be on the bench. Wow. Wow. Jay Kismet. Okay. Saying, is this rating based on the 4 games played so far or in general? I would say it's an average of eye test being the 4 games they played, and statistics and past knowledge of how you see the player. I don't know, whatever your metric is to kind of like, rate it in, so that you have like some type of personal evaluation, and then you can also go by, obviously this the hard facts of statistics and everything. That's at least how I'm coming across my ratings for these players. At least that's how I'm going to come across for mine. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? So let's go. Should we go to Fulham? Fulham's guy is, let's see, who's Fulham's guy? Fulham's guy is Raul Jimenez. How you feel about Raul playing their number 9? I think that's who that's supposed to be, at least in my thing. How do you guys feel about Raul Jimenez as Fulham's number 9? I know that he's taking on a big step. He's taking on a big job in this thing. I think Raul is a starter barely. I would give him a D rating for me personally. I think Fulham lost a lot in losing Mitrovic last year. I definitely think they lost a lot. But yeah, they lost Mitro. Let's see. And it says Fulham lost Mitrovic and then got RJ from Wolves, who doesn't bag, so he's a D. Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very true. Jimenez should be at the bottom. Wow, it's rough. He should be at the it says ain't the same after the head injury. I agree, that head injury was graphic. It was brutal to see. That was very difficult to see. But shoot, yeah. So we're looking at D. I have one vote for E. That's rough. I'd say we can bump him down maybe later, but I put him at the starter barely. That's American bias, 12th man. I feel you. Fulham is like one of America's teams. He was like one of the early teams that let Americans play, for sure. All right, let's go to Aston Villa. So let's go to Villa. I don't even know if I have the right player in for Villa. No, I think that's Diaby. All right, so even though or not Villa, that's not Villa, that's Burnley, excuse me. My eyes are bad in the morning. Dag on. Sorry, for Burnley, I'd say I would say Burnley's 9 is either Famir or less. I say Burnley 9 is I don't know. What do you guys feel about Burnley's number 9? What do you feel about Burnley's number 9? I have the picture I have there is a Foster, Lyle Foster. I know that they play with 2 9s technically, Amdanani or something, but I put in whoops. Sorry about that.
There is a reminder for my lord.
Okay. I'd say he's a 9. I think Burnley's I think Foster's barely a starter. I think he's a D level starter. So let's go with D. Let's go with D for him. I think that's not too harsh, to be honest with you. I don't think that's harsh at all. Let's go for Crystal Palace. I have Edouard in there for Crystal Palace. Is Edouard a C or a D? I don't think Edouard is like I don't think he's an E. Definitely don't think he's a B. I would say he's probably he's another D. What would you say Edouard is? Adsane Edward. Crystal Palace, I would say your starting number 9 is a D or a starter, barely a starter. I'd say he's Edward's on the bench. Ooh, wow, that's rough. I like the harsh, rough ratings here. Yeah, okay. I could see him on the bench. I don't think he's definitely like a D, if not like a high E. You know. Excuse me. I say D or E. Yeah, I'd say D or E is decent. So let's see, who else do we have in this list here? Let's go with Everton. How about that? Let's go with Everton. So with Everton, how you feel about Beto? Is Beto a C? Is he a D? Is he an E? Beto, people, I don't know. I think he's should be on the bench. Is that too? Am I being too harsh to Everton or something? Is that too harsh for Everton? I don't know. I think that he's not that great of a. They're just they struggle with their selection when it comes to getting any offensive put. Yeah, I agree. I'd never heard of this striker. I'm with you, Brian. I've never heard of him before Beto joined for sure. Give him an E. Yeah, that was a surprise addition for sure. Surprise addition for sure. I don't know if I have Luton Town in here. Hopefully I have Luton in here. All right, so then let's go to. Oh man, who are we gonna rip the Band-Aid off on first? Let's go to. I'm saving some of the best for last here. So let's go to Nottingham Forest actually, and Amboji, I hope I pronounced it right, but Taiwo used to. I mean, like that. He's a former Liverpool player, right? I think he played for Liverpool, right? Yeah, he played for Liverpool. And he's now their striker. Obviously he wasn't good enough to make it for us. Yeah, Morris is Luton Town's number 9, right? Yeah. I was saying no. I'm talking about for Taiwo. Taiwo, I think is a really. You think he's a handful? What are people's feeling on Forrest has played well this year. I can give you that. They've played well. Give him a C. He says another handful on his day. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that he didn't necessarily make it with us. He was put out on loan a couple of times, I remember. Yeah, I would say you're going to go C. Are we getting any knockdowns on him being a C or being a starter, being like average, if not above, a little bit above average? Let's see. He's saying that he wouldn't have fit our style, to be fair. Okay. I think if he probably played with us, he would probably have been pushed out to the left wing, kind of like what we did with Nunez in the beginning. Possibly, I feel you. And then Brian's also saying we couldn't get a work permit for a while. Oh, really? I didn't know that was the only reason. Interesting. Very interesting. That's the only reason why we let him go. That's a shame. Get that paperwork filled out and properly processed. Come on, people. Let's see. Who else do we have? Yeah. Some of these are off. You have to envision that the players we're talking about, because some of these are from, I think, from the original picks of players that were supposed to be slotted in as the number 9s, or like actually physically wear the number 9 for the team. So yeah, let's just dream in your mind that's his picture. I guess it's not his picture. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. All right, so let's go. Brian, you need to like get my number. You can be the head of my graphics department to get me the right graphics. But yeah, that's the player I'm at least talking about. At least I don't think I can add any of the players just as of right now. Okay, so let's go with drum roll. Let's go with Jesus. Is Jesus a superstar? Is Jesus a B, or is he a C? He's definitely. I'm not going to say he's not. He's definitely not a star. Barely. He's either a superstar or he's either a B or a C level number 9. I think injuries definitely hurt him a lot last year. Obviously, in the evaluation, he's still a big name coming from City. And when he has had opportunities, he's actually, performed. Arsenal obviously struggled, but muscled their way through, the time they didn't have him involved in the game. But I think he played well. I would say that Jesus is. I want to be nice and put him in a B, but I feel like it's more accurate to put him in a C level. Excuse me, put him in a C level position. I don't think that's too harsh. It sounds a little harsh, maybe, but I don't think it is really, to be honest with you. I just don't think it's harsh. He's a C. All right, so Jesus gets a C from Brian. Jesus is getting a C from Jay Kismet. All right, I think C is fine. All right, so now that we come to Cher-Ami, we come to Tottenham Hotspur's number 9, the pigeon himself, Richarlison. Without a doubt, that I think that he's an E level number 9. I understand I'm definitely showing my bias. However, I still think that he's had what, one goal? He's like an F. He's had like what? Like I think his first goal was against us. He celebrated like it was like his, him breaking the 100 deal or something. Yeah, I'd give Richarlison an E. He's just not. He's had his opportunities, whether at Everton, whether at yeah. I know. If I had a basement, he would be in the basement for sure. For sure. All due respect, big up to the Hotspurs and, to Jacob and in his community. But yeah, your 9 is definitely trash. So yeah, E. I would definitely go with E. All right. We can all agree. This is our first contender. I'm going to just rip that Band-Aid off. This is our first contender for the Golden Boot. Not very, so far, we've rated everyone really harsh because, there's not really, this is our first A or B. And that's going with Haaland, obviously. Haaland is like Golden Boot contender, Golden Boot, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Wait, hold on. What's he saying? He's saying I think this is about Richarlison. He's a superstar come Everton legend, Brazil number 9, Copa America winner, the best 9 in the world. Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Cyborg is A+. That's easy. That's our A. That's definitely the Terminator when it comes to Haaland, or when it comes to this draw. Jeez. So I guess if we are, I don't even know if that's the right picture for him, to be honest with you. I might get called out for my picture again because I don't know if that's the right picture for Luton's starting Luton starter. But Hopefully it is, because it's not. I'm gonna do it. Oh yeah, it's Morris, right? No, wait, that's not Morris. I already do Morris. I don't even know if I have. I don't know if I have Luton. Oh no. Let me double check and make sure I don't have Luton. Oh, that's yeah. I'll say that's yeah. This is Adam. Yeah. So this is Adam Boyo. Adeboyo, right? Elijah. This right here. So it would be Elijah right here. Okay. So this is Luton's Elijah. Elijah would be a starter barely. I think that Luton shows you why and how they most likely will be a team that gets relegated back to the championship, primarily because their attacking is exactly the greatest. I don't think Elijah's horrible. Well, but I don't think he's great either. So I would have to say he gets a D. Come on, wait. So there's got to be some. We got to bump someone up because apparently our league is full of our league is basically because we're down to the last two, basically, right? And I know I didn't put the right picture in. I know I know I didn't put some of these right pictures. So you just have to think that they're the players that I mentioned. I'm sorry. I should have double checked as well that I had the right photos from the tier maker that I got. But let's see. No, this right here, the player I just put up here, that's Elijah that I'm saying is represented there. And no, this isn't. This for Forest, that's not the right player either. But I am saying that I think that Elijah gets in at a D for Luton. I think Luton's number 9 is basically a starter barely. I don't know if you would put him as an E. People, I don't know if that's too harsh or whatever. But yeah, that's basically where I'm seeing him at. What haven't I done? Make sure I didn't do 2. Oh, and we have. Yeah, I think we have this right. And the last but not least, we have Nunez. You know I want to put him as a superstar because that's my boy. You know I do. I'll be honest. I don't think he's a C-level player. I don't think he's just barely a starter. I think he's got superstar status. I think that he's definitely. I know I'm showing my bias. But I think Darwin's at least a B-level striker right now. Let's see. Nunez is bench based on your manager. Nunez is bench. Remember, Klopp is God. Yeah, right. Saying 12th man, get Son for the pigeon and put him in A. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. That's so very true. If this was going to be Sonny, I would put him in as Golden Boot contender. If that was Sonny. Considering it's Richarlison, he's on the bench. But yeah, if that's Sonny and Sonny plays as their number 9, I'm putting I'm putting Spurs up as their number 9 as being the Golden Boot contender for sure. Absolutely for sure. Darwin for Liverpool has 22 goals and assists in 2,400 minutes for Liverpool. Yeah. That's crazy. That's a little under a goal or assist every 100 minutes or almost every game. Let's see. We're looking at Jay Kismet as being Darwin's is an A all day long. I feel you. At Jacob USA, I tried. I feel you. Yeah, I want to. Do I think he's going to contend for the Golden Boot, or I think he's the A? I personally think he's A. He's definitely an A if I'm rooting with my heart. But I think he is a superstar for sure. I know we have basically. There's got to be some bumps here. let's bump up. Let's bump Ferguson up to superstar. I think he can. Is that cool? We bump him to a B. You can't have just Nunez as the only B level player, number 9 on here, because that's like basically saying there's only three players, and that's saying the pigeon is Sonny. Let's say the pigeon is Sonny, and then he's at Golden Boot. If not, we got him down here in the E level. Stefan said we're allowed to be biased, guys. Love your brothers, for sure. I gotta always love your brothers. Yeah, man. Let's bump Ferguson up to a B. Let's bump. Who are we bumping? We can bump at least 2, maybe 3 players. We gotta like round this out a little bit so it doesn't look too biased. It can't be that too biased. I think Jesus is superstar too. He does great work for Arsenal. Yeah, let's bump Jesus up to superstar. He's definitely a B level player. If not, he's like a 80, if not 79, something like that. I would say Darwin is like an 82, 83, and I'd say Ferguson's like an 81. If I was giving them actual hard score ratings. Who else are we gonna bump up? Can we bump up? Let's say this is. I know it hurts to even see him in superstar. I don't even want to get clipped up to have the pigeon at superstar in a rating that I do. But let's say this is Sonny. That would be like that. Let's see. That finish was Cole versus United. Jesus is very good. Yeah. Jake is saying too much hype on Ferguson. Let him get 20 goals in the season first before they put a 80 to 100 million pound price on tag on him. Agreed. He's gotten a lot of hype. The hat trick definitely helped this, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. I think that, he's got a lot of hype behind his name. He's on a team that he could grow with, a team he's going to get definite minutes with, and a team that's definitely going to utilize him as being a, goal scorer for sure. I mean, Matoma can score, but I think Matoma's better at his pace and passing than he is at his shooting, to be honest with you. But Matoma's an amazing, accomplished left winger for him that can provide a lot. I know it's not the pigeon. By the way, this is not the pigeon. This is Sonny. This is supposed to be, I'm just putting him there as thinking it's Sonny. Otherwise, if it's not Sonny, pigeon's going straight to the basement for sure. Remember when the pigeon thought he scored the equalizer at Anfield, then Hatta finished him? Oh, for sure. I remember that when Hatta was just like, oh, that was good. Richarlison ripped off his shirt, was doing the pigeon dance. He was just going all in. And I was like, yo, next thing you know, Hatta's like up the pitch, rolling down. He just ran down the pitch on the left side, brought it in, scored. He's like, yo, hold my beer real quick. Hold my beer. Oh my goodness, that was such a great game. Great game. Ferguson, 14 goals in the last 29 games for Brighton at age 18. Wow. He is a really dynamic player. I definitely agree with that. He's a dynamic player. I know putting him as superstar might be a little bit too early or something, but some people could say definitely the same for our rating of Darwin. I'm sure people will. Anyone else that we want to bump? Anyone else that we want to bump up a level? He's saying like on Footy Manager Ferguson is Harry Keane regen. Okay. I would say I think we're good on the bottoms. Pause. I think we're good on the bottom level. I think we're good on the starter barely. I think we're good on the starters. I think that's our number 9. I think that's a pretty accurate one. Antonio scored. I know. So would you put Antonio as on the superstar status? Because I mean, he has done really. West Ham has been surprised this year so far in the past 4 games. I get that. They did come home with some type of silverware from Europe. I thought that they played well to start the season so far. I think they've carried that confidence in. I think Antonio has played pretty decently. San Antonio scored some great goals this season. Absolutely. Superstar? Okay, I can give him a superstar. I'm not giving Jackson a superstar. I'm not giving. This is supposed to be. You say Solanke is a starter. Okay. Jake doesn't say he's a starter. Didn't we get a bunch of D's early for him? Who gave him D's? Didn't people give Solanke a D? I think we're giving Solanke a D, I thought, early when I asked about him. I think that's a more balanced. That's a more balanced idea. I'll show you what we are going against. This is what we were going against. They had obviously they had Ivan Toney as an A, but that's not who we have as the player for Brentford. And they have Alvarez. I don't know. I wouldn't have rated Alvarez an A, but obviously they have Holland up here. This is everyone minus Holland. But I would have given if this was Alvarez, I would have put Alvarez as a B. He is a talent. He's certainly a talent, a superstar talent. If he's on another team, he'd be definitely a superstar, if not possibly a Golden Boot contender for them. But I don't know if I would give Alvarez an A rating. I would give him certainly a B rating if that was that. They had, I wouldn't say that they had Isaac as a, let me double check. I think they have Isaac as a, hold on one second. I think they have Isaac as a B. But I wouldn't necessarily know if I would have put him as a B. So let's see. Let me double check. So I think they have Isaac as a B. I can see it now. They have Watkins as a B. They had Jesus as a B. So it looks like we matched up on that. They have Isaac as a B, not a C. We had him as a C. They had Antonio as a C. We gave him a B rating. I don't know. I think that might be. I think we might be factoring in too much, possibly his current form or last 4 games. But all good. We had. They had Ferguson as a C. We had him as a B, as a superstar, possibly. We had Solanke as a C. They have him as a C. They have. Let's see who else they have. They have Richarlison in there. They didn't have Sonny in there, so I guess it will be cool. It's cool that we keep. I guess it's cool that we keep Sonny, or excuse me, we keep the pigeon in the E spot. They have Edward in the E spot. They have Raul Jimenez in the E spot. We had him at the D. Excuse me. They have Raul, or is that supposed to be? Well, I think we had Raul as the number 9. I don't think that is. They had Silva as the E. Excuse me. They had Silva as the E. The Wolves as the E. We have them as a D. Even though it is Raul, I think they're both D or E's. They have. Let's see. They have. Where do they put Everton's player? Oh, they have Beto as a D. We had him as an E. They had. Looks like they had Luton's guy. Where did they put Luton's guy? They had Luton's guy as a E. I don't know if I can have Luton. I don't know if I have Luton's right guy either. Oh, wait, this is Luton actually. That's why. That's Luton. My bad. I would have him as E. That's why. So wait, I am missing someone then, because I have. Let's see. We have real quick. Let's see. This is. Not him. That's not Archer. Or that's not. I mean, that's Tony actually. All right, let me get this straight. All right, this is the frame. Looks like we have a bunch of their players correct though. Because this is going by Archer, Hoyland, Beto, and they have that's because they have a different number 9 for this spot. They have a different number 9 for him, but it's all good. We have. I think this is a good rating so far. I think this is good. I think we can all feel good about the ratings that we have here. I think the only Golden Boot contender is the Golden Boot contender is basically Holland, and if Holland plays or not. I don't know how they got away with this. I just noticed that they actually did put Sonny as a 9, and they put two players in there. For that, that's dirty. How they got two players in there for for Tottenham, but yeah, looks like Jimenez again got a D, got an E. I think this is a decent rating. I think this is how we look at if we were going to say that we look at the number 9s in the league. I think that our rankings aren't too far off. I think they're not too that far off. Which one? So which one did I get wrong completely? I'm trying to think of which one I got wrong here. So I got most of them right. This is Luton Town's right here. That's Luton Town's guy. Carlton, right? This is Carlton. This is Luton Town. My bad. And then who else? What else did I say? I called this Luton Town. Who is this player? Could swap Isaac for yeah. I could see that. You could possibly do that. You could. I could see Isaac. I think maybe because we're looking at it from his performance so far this year and how despite the fact, other than the first game for Newcastle, they've really struggled when it comes to putting goals in or getting results with the goals. You could swap this, but I think it's solid. Isaac being still C. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's solid. I think some. Who the heck is that? I think that's a boy. I'm not sure who this is. That's a good question. I'm not sure who this is. I have to double check and see who I put. That's my bad, because I don't know if that's the right player. But I think Watkins is better than Antonio. Yeah, I know people rate Watkins very highly. On that show, they rated him a B. Would you say Watkins is better than Antonio, people? Brian says Watkins is better than Antonio. I have Isaac as a starter. I mean, I'm not putting him over Antonio. I don't know if that's should we bump him up? I don't know if I want to. I feel I'm okay with putting Antonio as a superstar for right now, considering the performance and run that he's got going on. The fact that he leads his Jamaican squad and everything else, and he's the man in Jamaica, and he's the man for West Ham. Superstar status. If he's a superstar, he's just at the door, and so is Watkins. I give them 80s. I don't know if we want to give them. I almost feel comfortable with this more so than the other. But all right, so I think we got all of them. This is supposed to be Forrest right here. I put him as a start. I think Forrest has done really, really well. This is supposed to be a Warrior, I think. So anyway, yeah, this is supposed to be a Warrior. But I think that other than that, this is a pretty good, solid rating. I think that's a pretty good, solid rating. I think that basically, you're looking at Holland being the outright, contender, not golden boot contender. It's just anyone that whoever can outscore Holland is going to win the golden boot, basically. I definitely have superstar status for Darwin and Vasseur. We gave love to Brighton by showing them superstar status of Ferguson, which is very interesting, but cool. Superstar status, so you Gunners can't say that I hate all the time. Gave superstar status to Jesus. Jackson got starter, Solanke starter, Isaac starter. Don't want to put Antonio in superstar. I want to keep him in starter. I want to keep Watkins as a starter. I put Amoye as a starter. Put Raul Jimenez as starter barely. Hoyland as a starter barely. Let's see. For Burnley, who do we put in for Burnley starter? I think they put him as starter barely. But let's see. Let me put him as for his. Let me put him in for. For Burnley, we had that's not great, is it? No, it's not Sam Brooks. Yeah, we had Gray for we had Gray for starter Bailey. I don't know. I might bump that down to should be on the bench. Oh wait, this is Brentford's. Brentford's gotta be up. No, Brentford's good here. I guess that's supposed to be Ivan Toney. So if that's Ivan Toney, then for Brentford, I put him as a superstar. He's not going to contend for the golden boot only because he's coming back so deep into the year. But I think that's it. It says Brian Morrissey says, who is Ivan Toney? Who is Ivan Toney in there to represent? Because Wiska is a D. Wiska is a D, not an E for Brentford. Archer is better than half the guys above him too. That's interesting. Yeah, I have this being Toney. I think Tony's a superstar. I don't know. The only reason I wouldn't have him as a golden boot contender, obviously, because he's just not going to score that many goals considering he's on a hiatus with the suspension. But I would say he's certainly superstar for sure. Superstar status for sure. And then, yeah, I think that's all the ratings. I think that's legit. That's a legit ratings, guys. I think that's, if you're looking at it, I think that's how it would be. It'd be these guys, second tier. These is like kind of third tier starters or number nines. Certainly someone on the cuffs of being definitely superstar, but not there just yet. I think if they go out of 4 games with this form, I'd be cool with putting Antonio up here. If Watkins can, I think Watkins and Diaby, once they start to get on the same level, I think they're going to do well. I think he'll be superstar status possibly, or have the ability to be in superstar status. I think Isaac is, again, he's got to get the form and shape down. Jackson's not a superstar in my mind. I just think that he's a starter. I think it's a C. So yeah, we'll put Archer up at 1 level. Okay. Let me double check and make sure that is Archer. Hold on. Let me double check, make sure that picture, and make sure I'm just trying to make sure the picture is the right picture for him. So yeah, I would say, I don't know, Archer. Put Archer up 1 and it's done. Yeah. Archer up 1 and it's done. Okay. I think I'm just giving a quick look as to who I have on here. So I don't even know if I have the right picture for Archer. Hold on, let me double check. Let me see if I'm looking. I'm looking to see if I can get the picture, guys. I'm sorry. So I can get the picture of camera. All right. I guess that's about. I think that's good. I think that's good. So this is the final breakdown. Looks like we're good on our on what we're doing with this being that is going to be the ranking. So yeah, I think this is solid rankings. I think this is more accurate a little bit more accurate. I think that the levels that we saw, the only differences that we saw really were possibly for some of the starters. They had obviously they had stead double ratings for Son and Richarlison, so that's why there were 2 Spurs for some reason on their list. I don't understand why, but they gave Ivan Toney love right here by being in A rating. I don't think he's going to be there because I think obviously he's coming back too late in the season. So I think the Bs though that they gave were Watkins, Isaac, and Jesus. Our Bs were Nunez, Ferguson, Jesus, and Toney. They had Solanke, Ferguson, Jackson, Nunez, Amwanye, and they had Antonio as C's. So then we bumped down Watkins, it looks like, and we bumped down Isaac from this tier and had them join the rest of their guys. I think, whoops, my bad. I think, and then other than that, everything's good. They had Archer, they had Hoyland, they had Beto actually in this barely starter in that D range. I think we're good. So yeah, in the comments, this is the last thing. So in the comments, tell me if we got any of our ratings wrong. Tell me where you would put some of these guys. If not, if they starter barely, or they should be on the bench, or they're starter. Again, if it makes it easier, make them A, B, C, D, E level style 9. I think just put in the comments if you can, sometime or something like that. Let's just give this. Hopefully you enjoyed what we did today. I'll be sure to make sure again that I have the right pictures for every player that's their starting 9. But other than that, I think that we got it pretty spot on. I think we definitely got it pretty spot on. I'm pretty happy with what we have here. So again, if you can, and you can tell me, you can put this. If there's something different that you would say, let me hear about it and put it in the comments. Let's start a dialogue as well in the comments section. I like seeing the comments. I get the alerts, and I always try to engage with the comments. If I don't engage directly with you during the live show, trust, I will comment make comments to your comments to this page and everything else. But yeah, fun time today. Good show. I thought thank you for all the help and assistance on getting some of these ratings down. I definitely wanted to make sure that we got our number 9, our Invasor, our Agent of Chaos, a superstar rating. Excuse me, a superstar rating. But yeah, I'm going to be leaving right now. So hope that you enjoyed the show. I hope that you understand that this is always the message when it comes to what we talk about on this show, is that you'll never walk alone. It's not just a song. It's not really an anthem. It's a statement of intent. And my intention is to show the best intention is by subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. That makes this a movement to empower our mighty Reds with knowledge, with kind of like fun information, also sometimes with like creative concepts or creative angles onto figuring out, what it is that is our club, what is our team, what is the league, in general. Thank you for joining me today. And yeah, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I will be having a show most certainly at 11 a.m. or that's 7 p.m. Great or UK time. So again, a lot of fun tonight, a lot of fun tonight, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope that you're well. Hope you take care, and hope to see you tomorrow. All right, peace.